Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the month of September. My name is Ryu Goes Roar. Today I'll be covering the TvT build. This is going to be a lot like my last TvT build done back in July. We're going to be doing another Reaper Fast Expand build with the Raven. However, we're going to be showing you guys how to do a fast kind of medevac drop style of TvT. This style has kind of fallen out of popularity in the last few years because a lot of people like to open double Raven with Viking. However, if you prefer to play a non-Viking sort of style, and you would rather, kind of play more proactive on the map, this is a really fun style to learn. Again, this is going to be opening up Reaper Fast Expand, which means we are going to be doing a barracks at 16 into a gas at 16, which is Rack's first Reaper Fast Expand. As such, remember to set your camera hotkeys in these early parts of the game. They will help you out a lot in the later parts. It's a lot easier, to have your camera hotkeys set now than, let's say, when you're microing your Reaper, or you're under pressure against, say, a cheese. So the earlier you can get them done, the better. However, do them at whatever time you want. This is just my suggestion.
In the rear with the gear. SCV ready.
Okay, cool stuff. Remember to start up your Reaper once the barracks is done, and Orbital at the same time as well. So that's going to be Reaper, Orbital. And some of you also wonder sometimes why I move my SCV frantically around the CC location. Let's say I'm looking over here and they had something attacking your worker. If it's a melee unit, say a Zergling, a Marine, an SCV, well not a Marine, an SCV, a Ling, a Zealot, you always want your SCV moving so it takes less damage. Now, once the CC is started, you're going to pull a worker to make the second depot to finish the wall. This next SCV is going to go over here and hide right in front of the command center. It's Reaper Marine, and he's going to build a bunker. This SCV over here is going to be rallied to make a factory.
What's going on?
Then I'm going to start up a bunker right about here. Then you're going to do a reactor with your next 50 gas. After the reactor, you're going to start your second refinery. And usually you want to chill with your units if you're doing Reaper Fast Expand. Hopefully you SCV scout it. I know I don't show it in most of my videos because we're against the easy AI. However, in actual games, you want to make sure that you're doing this. This will let you know if you're being cheesed or not. Additionally, you can send your first Reaper out if you're very confident in your own Reaper micro. Because your Rack's first, your Reaper should almost always be earlier. Now, once your factory is done, you're going to start up a Hellion, and a starport, and 2 Marines. We're going to be skipping the gas geyser with this build because we're going to be doing fast barracks. So this third gas geyser we will not be taken. However, you still want this naked Hellion, just because there's nothing better you can spend your money on this early on in the game through fast expand. Once that's done, we're going to do a tech lab over here, and we're going to just drop down our second mule. With your second mule, you can start up a depot. We can just put it here, whatever.
Need more minerals for that.
And we can start rallying Marines over here to the Reaper ramp. And here we can lift up these 2 buildings, swap them over. We can start up our Raven. With this build, we are only going to be doing a single Raven. And the reason for this is because we want to get into the extra barracks really quickly. Same with the extra medevacs. Once this depot is done, by the way, start up another. Once this factory tech lab is done, we're going to do a Cyclone. We can rally both of these units here to the edge of our main base, just to spot for something like a Liberator, or another Raven harassing, even a Banshee. Keep on making these Marines. Keep on making these depots one at a time. Actually, these next 2 Marines we're going to cut, because we're going to fly it over here, just above the starport. We're going to grab this SCV, and one more. We're going to make a reactor with the starport, and 2 barracks. Once those 2 barracks are down, you're going to save for some money. You're going to drop your third CC. And you're going to grab Stim, a Marine, and you're going to start up a siege tank. Once you have the available gas. Keep making this depot constantly.
We need more Vestiator.
Once your siege tank is down, we're going to start up Engineering Bay number 1 and Engineering Bay number 2. With that out of the way, we're going to do gas number 3 and gas number 4.
Minerals for that.
Remember, once your NGB guys are done, you can put your workers into the gas geyser. Once this reactor is done on the starport, you're going to lift it up and make one more reactor. Remember that once these 2 barracks SCVs are done, you're going to have them make another 2
That'll
barracks,
cost more minerals
like
than we have.
such. Once these barracks are up and ready, you are going to go ahead, oops, lifted this one in the wrong spot. You're going to go ahead and make another siege tank, and then you're going to start your wave of
We don't have
marines.
enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Once your engineering bays are done, you're going to start up your 1-1. Oops, we forgot one of our depots, all good.
That'll cost more minerals than we have.
So 1-1.
That's gonna require more gas. Need more minerals.
Constant marines,
We don't have enough minerals.
orbital,
What's up?
That'll cost more minerals than we have. Add on.
and once this orbital starts, we're going to be going into 2 depots at a time.
We don't have enough minerals.
Once the starport reactor is done, you're going to be making 2 medevacs
That'll
as soon
cost
as you
more
can.
minerals than we have.
Remember to keep on making marines as frequently as you can.
Need more minerals for that.
With your next 50 gas available, you're going to start up 2
That'll
more
cost
reactors.
more minerals than we have.
You're going to have to cut a tank here, which is fine. We can start rallying our workers and transferring them over to the 3rd base. Remember that once this 3rd orbital is done, you want to throw a scan over at your opponent's side of the map around 620 to 630. I accidentally did a meal here, but we're against the easy AI, so it's all good.
Ready for dust off.
Once these 2 medevacs are out, you're going to start combat shields, and you're going to load up these marines and send them immediately across the map. Now, I should mention, this build is not like the fucking 2-1-1, if that's what you're thinking. This double drop isn't going to snipe a 3rd CC or get a lot of damage done. You're going to unload it once you're at the halfway point of the map, and you're just going to kind of chill and poke in with your units. The whole point of this kind of drop play over here early on is you just kind of want to keep your opponent honest. Also, with these units, you can take your extra watchtowers.
Boy.
We can go over here, we can start at the 2nd factory, an armory,
SCV ready. This better
and we can do 2 more
We don't have
gases.
enough minerals.
Now, like I said, with these units, your goal is not to kill your opponent. You maybe want to edge in, poke at the 3rd base if you can, and you think there's an opportunity, you can maybe, let's say, drop over here, stim in, pick off a couple workers, maybe a siege tank, a couple marines, lift up, and you can kind of just poke in, maybe land in the main for a little bit, pull their army back. You're not trying to kill them though with this double drop. This double drop is just meant to keep your opponent honest and kind of fuck with them, if you know what I
Additional
mean.
supply depots required.
Around 7:45, we can throw down our our 4th CC. We're going to keep on making those depots. And if you want to actually, instead of like even landing in the main base, you can always, in this matchup, let's say you think you're going against the same sort of medevac style, you can always just have your medevacs in the middle of the map first and try and spot
Ready
theirs.
for dust off.
One really underrated tactic in TvT is just containing your opponent with all your bio. Now once your 2-2 is started, you should have a significant count of marines. With these marines here, you can just kind of keep all your tanks at home in Turtle and just have an army of marines going out. So let's say we have this big ball of marines over here checking around here, we could have another watching here with the watchtower units. And the idea here is if we see our opponent move out, we can kind of just collapse on them and quickly get away because our army is purely marine. Behind this, we can follow up with either an 8 racks follow-up, like such, oops, or we can follow up with, say, 3 starports. This game we're going to be doing a follow-up with the extra barracks, because that seems to be a little bit more relevant to this style. However, both work ultimately, it's always a matter of choice. So again, one big ball of bio on this side, right? This big ball of bio right here could also be spotting here. Remember to also have spotters if you can in TvT, this will always help you. You could even, let's say, see their entire army moving out, and you should just have a huge ass count of marines. So if you think you have a really nice 2-2 timing, or let's say your 1-1 is done faster, there are a lot of times your marines on their own can just kind of collapse on your opponent and kill them outright.
What's going? Ah!
Remember to start up your 4th CC, and with your 4th CC, you want to grab your gases. And by now, once I take my 4th, is when I usually like to throw down my sensor towers. I like to do 3 sensor towers, and another CC. But yeah, as you can see, we have a huge ball of bio. With this ball, we can always, you know, kind of run into our opponent, secret missile them, disable a tank or 2, and we can just walk out as soon as we think they're sieged and ready to hold
Command
us.
center has been
We're playing with the advantage that we should have more Marines and map control when you're doing this style. Some things you may struggle against are early Viking pushes. Those are a little tricky to hold, and those do come down to just, you know, kind of having good enough mechanics to stay alive and develop a Marine count. There's no real better answer, but this is another style of TvT you can play if you don't like opening Double Raven Viking. Anyways, I'm Ryu Goes Rar. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
upgraded.
Peace.